got that one there. Okay, give me 1 second. Start your music. Whoa. I don't know what that is, but we'll go with it.
Okay. And I'm Jenny-Jaymes, and my sidekick, Christian Cano, partner in crime, is coming up next.
Hey everyone, I'm Jen's sidekick. Welcome to Two Queers in a Truck. Hi y'all.
See you soon. Dance music.
Yeah.
Good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday, July 12th. This is Two Queers in a Truck, and the host by no, it's so fun to me. But anyway, you know, it's we're rocking some little music here. Not even sure what it is.
That'll wake you up.
A little bit of death metal dance jam music or something, you know.
I don't know what that was. Yeah.
Whatever random song Christian pulled up this morning.
Oh, Good morning. Good morning. Happy July.
Happy July. We're in our second day of July.
Second week.
And we survived 4th of July week and ish. And I guess it depends on where you live.
Yeah.
You know, they had a few little pesky shootings over the holiday, but it's no big deal anymore. I think there was 3 on 4th of July.
It's crazy.
So that's just, now we're getting to the point, I guess, until the next massive school shooting. Mm-hmm. The school's out right now, so it won't begin again until, I guess, September. Mm-hmm. But so to make up for it, they're shooting at festivals and other things that you do a lot.
Yeah.
And so it's very bizarre. It's just that it's so normalized.
Exactly.
And they have the top subjects where the little magnifying glasses, you go in there and you can see what's trending. Mm-hmm. Literally almost no talk about the 3 shootings.
Oh, wow.
Which, for people that don't know or have never listened or watched the show before, we do tape this a week before it drops. Mm-hmm. So if you're seeing this, it's July 12th for the first time. It's actually July 5th. So in our real time, when we're filming, clearly it's the day after the holiday and day after all. But I guess instead of fireworks, people wanted to use guns. Mm-hmm. But anyway, Florida has been controlled by the GOP for 20 years. Ranks 45th in tax fairness. Ranks 47th in medical benefits, unemployment benefits for folks that lose their jobs, which they're trying to put Disney out or move Disney out. Ranks 41st in access to health care. Now, they do rank number 1 in toll roads, meaning they want the people to pay for the roads. They don't want to actually pay for it. Yeah. God forbid they tax the corporation. And second in mass shootings. Speaking of mass shootings, So that's the part of the record that Big Suckus has to run on. Florida's a hot fucking mess. Florida's been a hot mess for a while. It's DeSantis may have been the latest and greatest and absolutely a disaster of a governor, but Florida's been the butt of jokes for a while. And this is behind Trump. This is the second highest front runner at this point. And he's doing everything he can to go attack other states, go into other predominantly blue states and blue cities to wage this weird meatball war. And I'm going, dude, the reason why you got to go to other states is because you can't drive around your interstate and point to any success. Like, it's very bizarre that, your state's a giant, flaming, flaccid-looking turd, and you're worried about what other governors are doing. I'm like, man, that says a lot. I mean, obviously his wife's back there still running things for him and picking his clothes out while he's on the road. They're probably saying, him, "Hey, you can't wear that meatball." Wear that meatball. And which is it's just bizarre. He's just a chubby version of Hitler, and twice as dumb. And it's actually good. DeSantis is really struggling. Their campaign is really, really struggling amongst Republicans. And because I guess they think Trump's going to get off all these charges, all these felonies and gazettas, and the Justice Department pursued all these insurrectionists just to pursue that. Wow. And so the Republican Party is in disarray right now. Despite they're losing all these court cases, they can't figure out why their Wile E. Coyote plan hasn't worked. And they're looking like the stooges and idiots that they really are. They're hitting an all-time level of stupid. And I just love it. I love the fact that they're starting to, just like with Trump, and I said this in 2019, and pretty much everybody on our other show laughed at me. It's, oh, yeah, Trump's not going to lose. And I was like, no, he's going to get turned on. There's going to be a certain amount of Republican voters that aren't going to vote for him. And Democrats are going to come out full force. Independents are going to come out full force. And I said at the end, what's going to do Trump in is the Republican Party. Because they always have to eat their own. They did it to Papa Bush in 92. They did it to Trump in 2020. They sat Nixon down and made him resign in 74, and they're gonna have to make hard decisions. They're gonna have to concede 2024. They're not gonna be able to win 2024. And they're gonna run some also-run candidate. They're probably gonna run Pence. And he's gonna get blown out. Like he's gonna get blown out. Like what was the 80 Mondale? Like he's gonna be the Republicans' Mondale. Because we'll bring back the fly memes. It's just going to be funny. It's because DeSantis is going to fall by the wayside. He's a political lightweight.
Yeah. I don't know anybody who likes, other than DeSantis, I don't know anybody who lives in Florida that likes living in Florida.
Yeah.
There are. The people that I know that live in Texas, my family, all they do is complain about how Texas has changed.
Yeah. Because they don't realize Texas hasn't changed. They're just finally realizing it because the misery levels hit so high.
Yeah.
It's a miserable fucking place to live. Let's be realistic. Texas is not that great of a state. It never was. When we moved away for a couple of years. We moved to Albuquerque, New Mexico. And I actually got to see a sophisticated city. And when I moved back to Texas, Texas seemed so dumb. It was really weird. And it completely changed how I viewed Texas for the rest of my life. Texas is just as dumb as Alabama and Mississippi. They just are land rich and oil rich. They've been able to calm people into moving there and going, yeah, bring all your people here. They're going to suffer. It'll be a tax haven for you as a super wealthy business owner, but you're going to fuck all your employees. No big deal. You've been doing that for years. And so they conned all these wealthy people to move there over the last 20 or 30 years, but they hate it. And if you brought somebody from California to Texas, unless they're an idiot, which is a possibility, or some sort of bull trash redneck. But if you're a normal person with any kind of brains, you would never leave Texas for Florida, or you would never leave California, Texas, or Florida. Some of New Yorkers. Anybody that's a sane New Yorker, especially New York City, would never move to Texas or Florida unless they needed to retire. And they would have lived in Fort Lauderdale or Key West or something like that. And they were super wealthy. So the main issues, but if you're middle class or the working poor, you don't want to move to Texas or Florida. It's very punitive. If you're a person of color, you absolutely don't want to move to those two states. And so Texas is a shithole. It's been a shithole since I was a kid. And they found a way to make it worse. Ultra highest electric bills in the United States when the electricity's on. Very, very high property taxes, which affects rents and mortgages. Water problems all over the state as far as access to clean, drinkable water. And it's going to get worse as the climate changes, and so on and so on. So, Florida is just as bad. But anyway, a big thing came out this last week. The LGBT conservatives, especially in Florida, including the log cabin Republicans, feel misled by Governor Dukakis. They're surprised. They were signed off on the anti-trans stuff when he pitched it to them. But they said that there's a surprising amount of anti-gay and anti-lesbian verbiage in all these bills, these Florida bills that he passed. That are mad about the anti-LGBT stuff, especially in the schools, against LGBT teachers, and all kinds of stuff like that. And I'm so happy for it. I love the fact that the gays and the lesbians are finally realizing how stupid they were, the Republicans, and went along with this foolishness. Went along with, hey, the fascists don't like us, but they promised they would only hurt the trans part of our LGBT acronym. So it's not going to be a big deal. And so now they're really, really mad. Dick Suckers and other people in the Republican Party, because they're so shocked how much backlash and prejudice they're getting, and so many issues they're getting, and how they're being called groomers too. And all this rhetoric and all these laws have shut down their drag fund and their pride fund, and they're just kind of, and I'm like, he unleashed hell on the LGBT community in Florida. It's one of the biggest trans refugee states that's where people are leaving. Texas and Florida are leading the pack. Moving to New York and Colorado, California, and all the places that are putting laws in place to protect them from any consequences. I'm like, yeah. And I'm just sitting back going, well, one, if you're a Republican and you're in the LGBT community and you're out of the closet, it's like leopards eating their own faces off. Like you literally, if you're an LGBT Republican, do you wake up and just automatically punch yourself in the face? So, hey, I really want to keep my white privilege. I don't want to make my family happy because I'm gay, but I'm a Republican. And because I'm not my own person, I can't think for myself. They may shove you into a camp last, but you will be going before other people if they had their way. The Republican Party has attempted to pass over 500 anti-LGBT bills just this year. Like almost 100 a month. And they're not all anti-trans. And think it's like, hey, I'll just drop this grenade in the room I'm in because I'll get some of the people I want. Forgetting that grenade's also going to get you. Not too smart. But anyway, we're up against our first break with two queers in a truck. I will be right back with some. Hey y'all, it's International Pride Month, and I want to wish everybody, our fellow queer neighbors and our allies, a happy Pride Month. Spend money in Target and your local queer Black and brown businesses as well. But happy Pride. Thanks for watching this show, and be safe out there.
Happy Pride.
Happy Pride, Dave. Hey, everybody, you can catch us on your favorite audio podcast platform, Spotify, and all Apple Store, the Google machine, and whoever else does podcasts. We're on there. We broke in, and we're staying. So enjoy the Two Queers in the Truck on your favorite audio podcast platform. Thanks for listening or watching. Bye-bye. Happy Pride. Or show. But yeah, there's some people in our community that ain't so smart. I'm just saying, we got some very privileged gays and lesbians that, not many, it's a small minority, but boy, are they stupid. And speaking of that, Caitlyn Jenner is now mad at Dick Suckers because come to find out, Gays Against Groomers has a Dick Suckers staffer on that website and Twitter page. Come to find out, a direct employee is running Gays Against Groomers.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought that the Republican Party was running Gays Against Groomers? And that it wasn't no organic thing, kind of like Moms for Liberty, or as we like to call it, Planned Parenthood. And they're running, the Republican Party is actually running the gay version of the Proud Boys. And so it's just, Caitlyn would all just say, most of the stuff she's okay with, including the fact that the Gays Against Groomers is an anti-trans organization. The main focus was to spread propaganda against the trans community. Caitlyn Jenner is trans. She's a prime example of what I was talking about in the previous segment. It would be like Jews for Hitler. Tejanos for Trump. After he's disparaged and defamed the Latinx and Hispanic communities Oh no, we still want to follow it. We like what he says. What does he say? We don't know. He legit. Well, I like 99% of their stuff. Just that 1% about DeSantis.
So how did she find out? Was it like publicized or something? Is that what happened?
Yeah, I mean, some of the more and more is leaking out about gays against screamers, and they're getting outed more and more by different watchdog organizations, including this, Southern Poverty Center and other orgs are outing who actually runs it and is doing investigative journalism. Of course, it's always going to get found out. It's just like one of the meetings that Moms for Liberty led their meeting. I think it was in Ohio or Pennsylvania or somewhere. Led it with a Nazi quote, a Hitler quote. Open up their meeting with a Hitler quote. In America in 2023, we've got Republicans and their offshoot organizations, their terror organizations, leading meetings with how Hitler salutes and Hitler quotes. But that's amazing to me that these groups are just saying, oh, I just want to make the schools better or whatever. I said, no, you're not. You're looking for the mass destruction of the public school system. So the people that funded your group get to swoop in and take over the school systems and sell it out piece by piece and let Amway and McDonald's buy up schools and own schools. And then you can see the great American cash grab. It'll be a gold rush like we've never seen. And we won't have a single public school left. They'll all go up on the auction block. Like QVC. Hear me. Buy a school now. Get a school franchise. Make our kids dumber. Make money off our kids. School lunches. Bullshit. No school lunches for them. Little bastards don't deserve it. We don't care if they starve. That doesn't bother us. They're not our kids. Our kids are going to special private schools and boarding schools. They'll never go to these shitholes. I mean, these opportunities to teach them about capitalism in the American way, which is the fuck or be fucked. So, it's just, it's amazing how their rhetoric of anti-public schools and anti-this and anti-that, and they just keep going and going and just destroying our infrastructures that have served us so well for so long, and now all of a sudden, magically, public schools are terrible. And it was probably all that No Child Left Behind crap where we over-tested them and we've put so much pressure on kids. Instead of focusing on learning how to read, we got to learn how to read good enough to take tests, standardized tests. Instead of reading books, because most of them are banned now, we're more worried about what's in the books than the fact that kids can read or do math or do any other pesky little things that Republicans don't like history and shit like that. So over the 4th of July, the Republican Party tweeted the wrong flag. They somehow tweeted, and I don't know how they got a hold of it or how they switched it, but the Liberian flag in Africa that was started by former American slaves. They got sent back to Liberia, to Africa, and they formed the nation of Liberia. They put that in their tweet for Happy 4th of July.
As an American flag? You mean, oh.
If that doesn't tell you who the Republican Party is, now how do you mix that up? I guess they had a little menu of world flags. And they said, oh, that looks like an American flag. And it kind of does. But it doesn't. There's no 50 stars on it. looks more like the Texas flag than it does the American flag. And clearly, if you know what the American flag looks like, which I guess they get kind of confused because now they just beat people with the American flag, like on January 6th. So now that it's on their underwear and beer cans and things like that, they kind of forgot what it looks like. And I guess it is par for the course for the Republican Party because usually most of them they're carrying Trump flags, Nazi flags, and Confederate flags. So it has been a while since they've actually used the American flag for actually making a flag.
Exactly.
I mean, when you think about it, you go to a Trump rally and you see Trump flags. You see a shed ton of Confederate flags. I mean, I know the local ass jacks that drive around with their beat up looking pickup trucks. They usually have a "Don't Tread on Me," a Trump flag, almost always a Confederate flag. Rarely do they have an American flag flying. I mean, think about it. So I guess they don't like history. History tells too many truths about white conservative fuckery. So I mean, what I could kind of see it. And now they're flying the Liberian flag, and people retweeted it. And they're making fun of the Republican Party, but they did it on their GOP Twitter page, and everybody's got the receipts. I mean, it got retweeted. I saw it in 4 or 5 places yesterday. I was laughing my ass off. Because, I mean, how do you tweet the wrong flag when you're a political party? Like, there's got to be a basic one-on-one. If you're a party employee and staffer, like I would think the bare minimum would be know how to spell the United States, know how to spell the Constitution, and know the United States flag. I think that gets you just a mouth breather stage to where you should be able to be a staffer that has access to their Twitter. If that's your job, is to run the social media, but specifically Twitter, I would think that would be the raw minimum. But not for the GOP.
Yeah.
You don't know what the American flag looks like? Tweet any old red, white, and blue flag. It doesn't, no biggie. Do the Texas flag, do the Liberian flag. As long as it's close. Our voters and our followers don't know the difference either. They haven't seen an American flag at a rally in a long time. Unless they're wearing it. And it has Trump across it. Because we can't go out the door without a Trump onesie on. But I think it's funny. They've become what they. You remember 20 or 30 years ago, we went through this weird. A lot of country music stars did it. A lot of people that were real performative. They got real crazy about the flag. I think it was about the time that Clinton was getting sworn in. And on Clinton's inauguration, they had like a little bit lighter colored red, white, and blue backdrop. Like the red was almost a little bit like a dark pink. And the blue was a little bit lighter. I guess because it was a laser light thing, a backlit thing. And the technology wasn't as good back then in 92. And they were saying the Democrats were trying to change the colors of the American flag. And so conservatives got real performative about waving the American flag at their concerts and all that. And now, in this era, not only do they not usually carry an American flag unless they wear it, but now they're retweeting the Liberian flag in Africa. It's going full circle. More of them carry the Nazi flag and Confederate flag than they do the American flag. I guess that's what Trump bucks by you. But this is our second break, and we'll be right back with some more Two Queers in a Truck.
Hey everyone, we just want to wish you a happy Pride. June is International Pride Month and we're celebrating it all month long. Also, we do want to thank those who watch us on Facebook and YouTube and the people who now listen to us on your favorite audio podcast platform. We want to thank you. Don't forget that our summer schedule is out, so we have our topics that we'll be covering in July and also in August. And just want to say happy Pride. I'll dance out. Happy Pride, everyone. Hey, everyone. Thank you so much for watching us on Two Queers in a Truck. Don't forget, you can watch us anytime at your leisure on our video podcast platforms like Facebook and YouTube. But you can also listen to us, either this show or any of our past shows, on our audio podcast platforms like Apple, Amazon, Google, Spotify, and all of the other ones. So once again, thank you for watching Two Queers in a Truck. I hope you enjoy our show.
We are back. And let me reset my timer here. It's been cantankerous. Some businesses are actually buying what they call a yellow check on Twitter. That thing costs you $1,400 a month to get a yellow check. You still see the same Twitter. You still see other businesses' ads and all that. But for $1,400, you basically are just donating to Elmo. And it's very bizarre. And I guess some people are starting to get it that are small business owners, that maybe the yellow check isn't worth it. And just like the blue check for $8 isn't worth it. I'm not going to pay for Twitter. It's not a good value. It wasn't before Elmo bought it, and it definitely is not. Like, they're now limiting how much Twitter you can use. And what the truth is, so their Google contract is running out. And he doesn't want to pay, I guess, the next down payment, which is like billions of dollars, to renew the contract. So he's trying to bootleg a workaround for Twitter to keep operating on certain search engines like Google. But he doesn't want to have to pay for all of it. So he's trying to screw the former company that he helped create. I mean, in true Trump Elmo fashion, like, it's just really bizarre. I mean, his bad side.
Yeah, well, Google's already started dropping. I saw an article, I guess, last couple of days, that they've already dropped like 56% of the links when you search on Google, that they've already started dropping them because a person can only get so many views a day or something like that. And like you said, that they haven't paid Google, or they're not going to review their contract or something. And so Google is like, well, we're just not going to give you free stuff. So they've already started dropping just within the last week or so.
Yep.
That's crazy.
And that'll be the end of Twitter. Is if you're not going to pay, it's like a construction company that builds swimming pools, and they don't want to buy the concrete anymore. I don't want to buy the concrete. That's expensive. I know I'm getting paid to put it in that pool, but we'll do plastic bags and sand. We'll put pools in that way. We'll just figure it out. Maybe they won't even notice. I mean, that's literally the Elmo's mentality is, well, I don't really care. I paid a shit ton of money for this. I can do what I want. Even though he didn't really pay for it. He borrowed a whole lot of money. He didn't have all that cash on hand. And he's going to destroy He's destroyed Twitter the way he's destroyed every company he's ever touched. The only time these companies get better is when he steps away and sells all his shares or whatever. But the moment he's not running the day-to-day, every company he's ever been involved with, PayPal, almost went away until he sold it and eBay bought it and turned it around. But it takes a successful business person to turn around a former Elmo business. Elmo doesn't play well with others, and he's not real smart. He's a trust fund idiot like Trump. Like he came from money. He didn't ever have to work. He never had to earn money to buy his first company. He never had to do any of that sweat. He automatically became, gave himself genius status. Kind of like, again, I use the example of some of these like South American dictatorships where they promote themselves to being president and general at the same time. And they put all these medals that they never earned on their chest. And they get up there and they put a little cap on. They usually got a mustache and the big old aviator glasses. And they start saluting themselves. And you're in trouble if you don't salute them back. And that's Elmo. He wants to be praised. He wants to be told he's a genius. Well, the dude is literally the Wile E. Coyote of the billionaires. And he's a super genius. He's never going to catch Roadrunner. He's never going to look smart, except for incels and weird Proud Boys that fantasize about him because they think he's the version of success they want to be. I was like, what? You weren't born into money like Elmo. And number two, Elmo is a very effective con artist, just like Trump is. Elmo and Trump can't run any businesses. They were never meant to be. They were meant to be trust fund babies. They were raised as trust fund babies. And their family said, you need to go in business or something. So it's like they put their idiot sons into these businesses. And like we're about to talk about another idiot son. But they've never had to come up with a real idea. They're not real businessmen. They're cosplaying being a business person and, harassing people and saying stupid stuff all day long. But speaking of idiot sons, Don Jr. went on some kind of weird rant, last week on 4th of July. And you couldn't hear most of it. The words were so slurred. He looked sunburned. He was definitely baked on something. Like, it looked like he cannonballed like whiskey shots, Coke, and probably some weed or something. Maybe some Molly. Maybe he was having his way with himself. But I'm telling you, and he was getting blown up for it. But he went on about a minute or two rant about blah, blah, blah. And you couldn't even really understand what he said. He was going hard on 4th of July. I mean, he was in rare, drugged out, drunk, idiot form. And I mean, I think it's funny because they always go after Hunter Biden. And I'm not saying Hunter Biden's an angel or smart. He's neither. Okay. He's got problems. And his dad even acknowledges that. He's always trying to get Hunter help and things like that. We've heard some of the conversations. But Biden has the good sense to never hire Hunter in any capacity. And he doesn't. Whereas Don Jr. was in the former president's staff, his inner circle. This dude was making decisions on some level. And not only was he stupid on, for anybody that watched The Apprentice, which I did, I was actually a pretty regular watcher of it because I like the celebrities, and I like the teen. I love trash TV. And that's what it was just trash TV. because a lot of those celebrities, they would never be able to run a business. These were all fictional, made up charity fundraisers. But you actually find out how stupid some of these celebrities are on that show. But the best part was hearing Don Jr. and Eric try to sound coherent, even with a scripted show. They were dumb sounding back then. Ivanka was the only one on the show that sounded smart. And Trump a little bit. They had Trump pretty reined in. He didn't get to just go off on these crazy tangents. They had him they had everything in front of him they needed to say. And so he looks like, you go back and you watch the episodes now and you realize, he sounds like he was on some meds and probably had a lobotomy compared to the way he is now, because now that you hear what he wants to say, you realize that's why he looked like he was always holding back, because he was being restrained by NBC. They're like, we're going to give you the show, but we're going to keep some cuffs on you, and we're not going to let you go on any crazy rambles. Like, you're not going to do any birther stuff. You're not going to tell any conspiracy theories. But Don Jr., he went off the rails, and I don't know how his dad doesn't just sit him down and say, look, you're embarrassing. Because the only other thing I can think of is that his daddy, Trump, realizes he can't get reelected, that he's done. And this is, fuck it, let the boy be an idiot. let him build his home following. Let him get on there and do what he does, because I'm going to be in prison pretty soon. And I've got bigger fish to fry. I can't worry about my fried son that's not real smart. He's never been smart. Every job he's ever had has been working for me. And, idiots will do what idiots do, because I know Trump has publicly admonished him when he's gotten on. It's a couple of times Trump has come on to his little rants and said, maybe you should do all that. Well, it's not going to do any good, because Don Jr. is going to do what Don Jr. does, unless he cuts him off all the money, and just says, what, you're done. Which I don't think he's going to do that, because maybe it's that Don Jr. makes Daddy look a little bit saner, a little bit more sober. I don't know, but it is pretty funny. It's pretty funny to watch, and really to watch all these Republicans just melt down. The gay Republicans turning on DeSantis and Republican Party officials. Caitlyn Jenner surprised that Dick Suckus has a staffer on gay trailers. Like, what do you think? You think the American Nazi Party is just going to leave everything to chance? You don't think there are staffers running the Proud Boys? You don't think there isn't staffers guiding Moms for Liberty and QAnon and all that? You think it just happened organically and accidentally? All these groups, these well-funded groups that have the same donors as the GOP happen to have? That just happened? Come on. Like, are you that dumb? No, I do believe Caitlyn Jenner is that dumb. Caitlyn Jenner is not very smart. Caitlyn Jenner is like a racehorse. Ran her little races in the Olympics, but not necessarily the smartest animal. She even has a little bit of a horse face. But just what a dumb group of people. But that's all we have for this week. And, let the Republican fireworks begin. As the race to melt down the Republican Party happens in 2024.
Yep.
This is any indication to how they're going to have fits and tear each other's face off we're going to have a fun primary season. It's going to be fun seeing them rip each other to shreds.
Yep.
Nikki Haley, I'm Not Indian, is running, and Tim, the Great Pumpkin Scott, is running, and whatever other chuckle fucks try to run, knowing that Trump's going to prison, and it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
They're just, it's going to be interesting. I hope so. I'm here for it. The jokes will write themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll head on out. What's the more dance music?
Bye, y'all.
Hey, y'all. Thanks for watching Two Queers and a Truck. So cool out there. There's record heat temperatures going on. So have a great week. Thanks for watching.
Bye, boo.
Bye, boo.